Good morning, everyone. So, today I'm just explaining to you the last chapter which is there in your unit test 1, that is India in the 18th century, decline of the Mughal Empire, that is your chapter 4. Okay, so we know quite well that the Mughals had ruled in India before the British for quite some time, for quite a long number of years. But after the death of Aurangzeb in 1707, the Mughal Empire started to disintegrate. Okay, as the empire ended, various contenders were there. Where contenders means there were competition among many dynasties as to who will rule the country, and ultimately it was the British East India Company who seized the power from the hand of the Mughals and became the rulers of India, and thereby ruled India for about the next 200 years. So this history is already known to us. Now, since we are dealing with the Mughal Empire, we should be knowing what led to the disintegration of the Mughal Empire. So, under Aurangzeb, the Mughal Empire reached its greatest territorial extent. That means it extended through the country of India for quite some time, and it became a huge empire. But they failed to keep up to the expectations, and hence they declined. The Rajputs during that time had been the pillars of strength during the early reign of the early Mughals. His policy of religious intolerance alienated the Rajputs, Sikhs, Marathas, and the Jats. And the wars against the Marathas not only depleted the resource of the empire but also destroyed. So, how Aurangzeb was responsible for the decline of the Mughal Empire is written over here. Then after the death of Aurangzeb, it was Bahadur Shah who emerged as a victorious ruler. Okay, but his reign was went through a very tumultuous. That means it was very chaotic. He was a man of mild and equitable temper, but was too old to prevent the decline. So he died in the year 1712, and his death followed by a long period of confusion and disorder. The reign of the later Mughals also brought with it great disasters and instability, and this also led to the decline. Then I think in your projects I have already discussed who were the later Mughals, and these were the names of the rulers who were the later Mughals and who failed to keep up to the role models of the earlier Mughal rulers. Role of the nobles. After Aurangzeb's death, Mughal Empire shrank. That means the extent came down because it no longer could prevent the wars of the authority of the lands. So that is why they became reduced to only small districts. The deterioration in the character of nobility hastened the process of the decline. Various group of nobles like the Turanis from Transoxiana, Iranis from Persia, Afghans and Shahzadas, that is the Indian Muslims, they conspired against each other. The incapacity and lack of resolution of the later Mughals contribute to the erosion of the royal authority. The nobles started playing themselves. The nobles became the kingmakers. Okay, thus because of the absence of proper rulers, the nobles now started considering themselves to be the kingmakers. Next, the Mughal army was based on the Mansabdari system. Under this system, Mansabdars had to maintain a fixed number of troops which they would lend the emperor during the time of the war. They used to get a jagir as payment for their services. And Mansabdari system worked efficiently during Akbar's reign, but later Mughals could not keep up to the corrupt practices, and eventually they became very weak. Next came the Jagirdari system. The Jagirdari system gave too much of power in the hands of the local Jagirs, who began to extract more and more money for themselves, and this resulted in the political unrest. Next, we come to foreign invasions. The weak defense of northeast frontier offered the opportunity for foreign invaders. So there were very weak rulers now in the forefront, northwest frontier. And Nadir Shah, ruler of Persia, marched towards India in 1739. It was believed that Nadir Shah did not rest. It was only when the Emperor of Delhi, Muhammad Shah, requested him that he did siege. So during his rule, he ordered a massacre of the doomed city of Delhi. Nadir Shah carried away the crown jewels, including the famous Kohinoor diamond and the peacock throne of Shah Jahan, and it entailed a heavy economic drain on the resources of the Mughal Empire. So it set a precedent for further invasions. Then Ahmad Shah Abdali came, who invaded India 5 times between 1748 and 1761. And just because in Delhi there was no central authority to rule the land and take over the authority, the provincial viceroys of Bengal, Awadh, and Deccan made themselves independent of the titular Delhi Emperor. Then, due to this loss of power from the provincial rulers, the European powers who were waiting in the line to take over the country, invade the country, came forward, and ultimately it was English East India Company who established their hold over our country, India. So, this was how the Mughal Empire declined, and it led to the emergence of new foreign colonial powers to come and invade India. So, just for a better understanding, please go through the chapter once, everyone. Okay, thank you, everyone.